Hey guys, welcome back to Builds by Maz. Today I'll show you how to use one of these texture sprayers that you can rent from Home Depot to apply even orange peel texture to your walls. Anyone can do this even without any experience, and you can get results like this. Let's get started. The first step is to prep the area that you're going to be spraying, which pretty much just means covering up everything that you don't want to get sprayed with texture. Things like windows, doors, and outlets. You can also lay out builder's paper along the edges of the room to protect your flooring. With the prep done, we can look at how to use the texture sprayer. So there are two rental options for texture sprayers at Home Depot. You have the regular version and the Pro version, which is just larger and more high performance, but the instructions for use are very similar. Each one is going to have two tubes coming off the front. The smaller one is for air and the larger one is for material. They should come already connected, but it doesn't hurt to double check that they're tightened properly to the machine. Then check for any kinks in the hoses. For example, this area was a little flattened, so I tried to round it out so there are no blockages of material. You also have different nozzle options. This white one with a smaller hole is more for finer textures like orange peel, and the gray one will work better for knockdown or heavy textures. With the standard sprayer, these are plastic, and you can just screw it on to the end of the texture gun. With the Pro version, they're metal and labeled with numbers, and I'm going to use number 4 for orange peel. Higher numbers equate to heavier texture. With this one, you place the nozzle in the gun, and then you have to attach it with a metal collar. When you look at the bottom of the gun, you'll see this airflow knob. When it's vertical like this, the air is on, and when you turn it horizontal, it shuts the air off, and that's how we want it to start. Then you've got the trigger, which will determine how much material is flowing. You can squeeze it part way for a little material or all the way for a lot. There's also an adjustable stopper right here, which you can twist to change the maximum flow. Now, even if I squeeze it down all the way, it won't dispense too much material, so this is an easy way to keep it consistent. The Pro version works the same, it just has a slightly different dial. For material, I'm using this spray texture powder, which is made specifically for this application. For an average sized bedroom, you probably need about a third of a bag. Just adjust as needed, depending on the size of your project. I recommend using a little more than you think you need, so you don't run out while you're spraying and have to mix up a new batch quickly. We'll then alternate adding water and mixing it up a little at a time until you get a really thin, runny consistency. You'll probably end up adding more water than you expect. So this was even still a little too thick here, but once I added more water and it started mixing like this, I knew I was about in the right place. If you pick some up with a putty knife, it should run off with almost no resistance. This is going to look super thin, but it will thicken up just a little bit as it sets. So to clean out the inside and purge the line, we're going to start by pouring about a gallon of water into the spray machine. Then on the side of the sprayer, you have this material flow knob. You pull the knob out and then can twist it to the right or left to increase or decrease the amount of material flow. You can use the gauge here to determine your flow rate. And for this first step, you want it turned up pretty high. Go ahead and turn the machine on, and then make sure you have your airflow all the way cut off. With the Pro model, there's this little prime valve right here, which you'll need to flip to open. Then we'll just spray all the water in the machine into a spare bucket. Once you've emptied out all the water, you can close the prime valve, and then you can load up the hopper with all your material. Open the prime valve one more time, and then spray into your side bucket until you see the material switch from water to mud. If you're using the regular sprayer, there won't be a prime valve, so you can ignore that. Keep a close eye and let it run for a couple seconds once you see mud, a little bit longer than I just did here. Now we can turn our airflow gauge back on. For heavier textures, you can set it to low or medium, but for fine textures or orange peel, we'll open it all the way up. Now before you begin spraying on your walls, it's a good idea to get some cardboard or other scrap piece of material that you can practice on. This will give you time to adjust the airflow and trigger settings to get your desired result. You'll see here this is still spraying out water, and that's why I mentioned you should spray longer into the bucket. That's what I did here and then came back, and now it's spraying just mud, but it's coming out too heavy. To fix this, I went back to the material flow gauge on the machine and turned it down a little bit, and that fixed the problem for me. Now I had a lot more control, and it was spraying with a consistency that I really liked. Once you have everything dialed in and you feel comfortable with the sprayer, you can move on to doing the walls. And I removed my ceiling lights before spraying, so that's why this next part of the video is a little bit dark. Try to spray a couple of feet away from the wall and maintain a consistent distance if you can. Your goal is to apply consistent texture everywhere and not have any heavy or light spots. What worked best for me was to do little circles so the spray was randomized and there's not going to be obvious lines. I know it's hard to see the texture in the video, but it's much more obvious in person. Just do one section at a time, and it should be fairly easy to keep track of all the places you've covered. Here's another view where you can see the texture being applied a little bit more clearly. And here's a close-up of what it looks like right after it's applied. You can tell it's wet, but the texture still holds its shape. I forgot to wear this when I first started spraying, but make sure you have a mask as well as eye and ear protection because this machine is actually really loud when it's running. But just work your way around the room, applying the texture in little circles until you have even coverage on every surface. After I finished, I waited about 30 minutes and then reinstalled my overhead lights. Now that I have much more visibility, I'm going to go through and check every wall for any spots that I missed. If you don't have room lighting yet, you could also go around with a portable light. This looks really splotchy, but the white areas aren't missing texture. It was just applied a little more thinly so it dried faster. But I'm not worried about these spots. What I'm looking for are areas that are just bare drywall, with no texture applied, like this right here. If you have any spots like this, you can just go back and fill it in with your spray gun. But you really don't want to miss any of these before you return your rental. So once you've double checked you didn't miss any spots, you can clean out the sprayer. Turn off the airflow and open up the primer valve again, and then dispense any remaining material that's still left in the machine. Now we'll fill the hopper back up with water, and I used about 2/3 of one of these Home Depot buckets. You can then spray water to clean off the inside of this tank. You may need to do a little scrubbing as well, but you want to get off as much as you can so you aren't charged a cleaning fee. The final step is to spray the water out into a bucket, and then you're ready to return the sprayer. Give your texture at least 1 day to fully dry, and then be sure to use some drywall primer before you apply any paint. This will ensure the fresh drywall is fully sealed, and it will help improve the paint application. Lastly, here's a close-up of the texture once it was dry and primed, and then again with our walls painted. It's not 100% perfect, but I'm really happy with it. I hope this video has helped teach you how to texture your own space. And for more home improvement projects, be sure to subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.